What really happened to leave her bloodied, broken, and bruised? Is this just another tragic accident? Or is there something darker lurking beneath the surface? How much pain is she still carrying from a past filled with betrayal and heartbreak? Stick around, because the truth behind Tamar's struggle is deeper and more complicated than you might think. You won't want to miss a single detail of this roller coaster journey toward healing, survival, and maybe, just maybe, redemption. Here we go again. Another cryptic social media spiral that's got the internet playing detective, psychic, and therapist all at once. The kicker? Not even Tamar herself seems to know what's going on. According to her, she just posted a little something online. No big deal, just a casual emotional gut bomb that left fans rattled, disturbed, and frantically connecting dots that may or may not exist. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill PR-flavored statement with a carefully crafted caption and an apology font. Nope. This was raw, chaotic, and screamed, "I need help." And not in the subtle way. She said typing it nearly broke her, that her phone wouldn't stop ringing, but she was too weak to even pick up. And then she casually drops the nuclear bomb. She almost didn't make it. On Sunday, of all days, she claims a friend found her in a literal pool of blood. Her face so wrecked she fractured her nose, lost teeth, and couldn't move like she used to. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just sitting here blinking at our screens like, wait, what? She says it changed the way she sees life. Honestly, same. Physically, sure, she's patching herself up, but mentally, she's just starting what sounds like a psychological marathon, a barefoot, uphill in a storm. And here's where things go from tragic to mysterious. What actually happened? Was this a freak accident? Did someone attack her? Or, the question lurking in everyone's mind, did she do this to herself? Because let's be real, Tamar's not exactly a stranger to public drama. Her resume includes explosive feuds, emotional meltdowns, and enough tea to flood a small nation. Some people, because of course they did, instantly tried to tie this back to her ancient beef with Kandi Burruss, as if Tamar wakes up every morning burning with jealousy over Kandi's success. But no, this isn't about petty Bravo drama or some B-list feud. This is way bigger. This is messy, murky, and terrifying. This is life or death, and right now, we're all just stuck waiting for Tamar to fill in the blanks. Or at least stop dropping breadcrumb-sized trauma bombs on Instagram. So, the next day, Tamar drops yet another bombshell wound, and naturally, her fans are left clutching their pearls. Because surprise, it turns out she's still wrestling with her own mess. Shocker. Growing up with dysfunction as the family soundtrack clearly left its mark. And as an adult, well, she just kept signing up for the sequel, starring abusive relationships, betrayal, heartbreak, and a whole lot of emotional mayhem. Breaking that toxic cycle? Nah, why bother when you can just live in emotional warfare 24/7? From the outside, Tamar's life might look like a soap opera marathon, but on the inside, it's less drama and more survival mode. Sure, she throws on that strong face like a pro, but dig a little deeper and you find a woman still desperately searching for a safe place inside herself. Spoiler alert, she hasn't found it yet. And that's why this latest moment isn't just a bruise or a broken tooth, though those are bad enough. No, honey, this is the mental unraveling nobody wants to talk about. Tamar said it herself. The real fight is happening upstairs, in that mind of hers. And that's where the real nightmare kicks in. Because here's the kicker. Mental wounds don't come with a predictable healing timeline. You can't just slap on a band-aid and call it a day. We've seen this episode before, folks. Tamar's not exactly new to the "I'm not okay" drama. Years ago, she was already living the dark version. Blinds shut, bedbound, eating and showering optional, time becoming a confusing blur. That wasn't just a bad mood. That was depression doing its evil thing. And sure, she hid it well enough to keep the show running. But the second the spotlight dims, bam, straight back into the toxic cycles like it's an exclusive club she never wanted to join. Even when she bravely showed up on Taraji P. Henson's show to spill the tea about her suicide attempt, it was just another chapter in this never-ending saga. So Tamar gets real about feeling totally disconnected, not just from her family, but even from her own kid. Yeah, that little boy Logan, their relationship felt about as deep as a kiddie pool. And in what has to be the darkest plot twist, she actually convinced herself that her son would be better off without her. Yeah, try wrapping your head around that kind of pain. This isn't some dramatic TV moment. This is pure, unfiltered despair. Now, Tamar's honesty? That's her signature move. Equal parts gift and curse. She's the one blurting out what everyone else is too polite or scared to say. But underneath all that brutal honesty is a mess of wounds that never got a proper bandage. She grew up in a house with enough emotional skeletons to make a haunted mansion jealous. You can practically feel the weight when she talks, as if she's been running from some lifelong nightmare since childhood, only to bump into it again and again in every bad relationship she's stumbled into as an adult. So, of course, when she drops a post about waking up bloodied, teeth missing, face smashed, yeah, people get worried. That's not a whoops, I tripped situation. That's violent, messy, and terrifying. And if it wasn't a partner's fists, was it her own hands? Another desperate attempt to check out? Tamar's shown us the edges she's danced on before. How far she's been willing to plunge into darkness before clawing her way back to the light, even if just for a moment. Here's the real gut punch. She's still searching, still hunting for that elusive piece and a version of herself that doesn't feel like a broken record stuck on repeat. Sure, she talks about physical healing and kicking off some mental reboot, but spoiler alert, this is the same battle that's been dragging on for years. Every new man, the perfect fresh start. Every new project, the clean slate. But then, like clockwork, those same old ghosts crash the party and the cycle spins again. What Tamar doesn't quite seem to get, maybe she does, maybe she doesn't, is that no man, no fame, no standing ovation is ever going to fill that void until she finally makes peace with herself. Spoiler alert, you gotta look in the mirror and see some self-love before you start recognizing it anywhere else. That's the kind of healing that would actually break this exhausting cycle once and for all. So, when Tamar says she's on the mend, the rest of us are left biting our nails, wondering if this time she means it. Because let's be real, her healing journey, it's never been a simple stroll in the park. Nope. It's more like progress, then collapse, then survival, rinse and repeat. And while everyone's desperately hoping this latest disaster was just some bizarre accident, Tamar's story has always had a dark little shadow lurking in the corner. Until she confronts that part of herself she's been dodging since childhood. The kid who felt invisible, unloved, and wrapped in shame. Those shadows aren't going anywhere. For now, all we can say for sure is that Tamar is still standing. Bloodied, bruised, a hot mess. But here. And hey, maybe that's the tiniest glimmer of good news. She's alive. Maybe this is the moment she finally decides to choose life on her terms. Bold, unapologetic, and without anyone else's hands strangling her, especially her own. But here's the million-dollar question everyone's whispering. What really happened to Tamar? Was it just a freak accident? A violent showdown? Or is it just the ugly echo of past pain coming back with a vengeance? Until we get the receipts, all anyone can do is cross their fingers that she finds the guts to not just recover, but to actually love herself enough to ditch anything or anyone who keeps dragging her down.